In the prefectural tournament finals with his team trailing 1-0, striker Yuichi Asagi, heeding the words from his coach about soccer being a team game, opts to pass the ball to his wide-open teammate rather than shooting at the goal himself, and his teammate misses. The opponent takes the ball the other way with their captain Ryosuke Kira kicking the match-clinching goal to advance to the national tournament. Sometime later, Asagi is summoned to the Japan Football Union, and he finds himself being one of 300 strikers confined at a remote soccer training facility called Blue Lock directed by coach Jinpachi Igo, being put through a survival boot camp in order to develop the ultimate striker for the Japan national football team, with the winner becoming the team's starting striker and the rest banned from playing for the national team. The first trial is a game of tag in which the person who is struck by a kicked ball is it, and whoever is it when time expires is eliminated. The lowest-ranked striker Guramu Igarashi starts out being it, and Asagi ends up being tagged to become it. Rather than choosing to eliminate Igarashi while he is down, Asagi takes the risk to eliminate a stronger player, and just before time expires he tags Kira to eliminate him. In a meeting at the JFU, new recruit and creator of Blue Lock Henri Thierry criticizes the board for their way of thinking. Back at Blue Lock, Igo explains to Kira that his lack of egoism made him unfit to be the ultimate striker as he leaves Blue Lock. Igo then explains that the 11 players remaining will form Team Z and live together, with the message that at times the players will work together and at other times betray each other. Afterwards, the players train and eat together. At night, Asagi practices with teammate Meguru Bachira, and Bachira explains that he has some monster inside of him that tells him the best course of action. Afterwards, Igo explains that as teams are assigned based on player rank and Team Z has all the lowest rated players. He then explains the next trial that will be a group play tournament against the other 4 teams in their building, 1 of 5 in the facility, with the top 2 teams advancing. With all players being forwards, that Igo has tasked the players to play soccer from zero. Team Z prepares to play their first match against Team X. Before the match, Igo explains that in addition to the 2 winning teams, the leading scorers from the eliminated teams will also advance. The match begins with fighting amongst teammates to advance by being the top scorer, but Team X starts to play as a team with Shohei Baru scoring the first goal as the trigger, while the infighting continues with Team Z, allowing Team X to take a 5-0 lead. The 0 on the scoreboard leads Asagi to believing that what Igo meant by playing soccer from zero means scoring the first goal. Team Z avoids the shutout with a goal by Rinsuke Kunigami before time expires to make the final score 5-1. After the match, Jingo Reichi confronts Asagi, demanding to know why he passed the ball to Kunigami despite Reichi being more wide open, while Baru advises Asagi to not be nervous in front of the goal. Back in the locker room, Asagi explains what he concluded when Igo said to play soccer from zero, pointing to Baru's goal as the catalyst. Igo then explains that while Asagi is partially correct, his message relates to the open-ended nature of a striker, pointing out that Japanese athletes are successful when they have defined roles, but struggle in sports that rely heavily on open-ended roles like in soccer. With Asagi struggling mentally, he asks Kunigami why he plays soccer, responding that he idolizes strikers as real-life superheroes and wants to become on. Kunigami also explains that goal scorers get bonus points to spend for stuff to improve quality of life at Blue Lock, and Kunigami uses his for a stake he shares with Asagi as gratitude for the assist. Kunigami also tells Asagi that he has a special talent for sensing where to go with the ball to score goals. The next day, Team Z and Team Y play a match that amounts to an elimination game, with both teams losing badly in their first match. Team Z puts their position rotation strategy into motion, with Bachira starting out as the striker, but Bachira struggles as his shots get blocked. Team Y then puts their plan into motion to focus on defense, then steal the ball, and following a long pass to the team's best player Hibiki Okawa, he scores on a breakaway to give Team Y a 1-0 lead. Having taken the lead, Team Y deploys stall tactics by passing the ball around to run out the clock, but Team Z steals possession and ties the match with a goal from Jin Kagamaru, all while Asagi notices that Okawa's teammate Iki Nico is the team's true leader who is calling the shots. Having figured out that Nico possesses the same ability he has, Asagi sees his former self inside of Nico. With the match tied at 1-1, Team Y continues to play defense until the last minute. Having drawn Team Z into the offensive zone, Team Y rushes towards the goal, with Nico passing the ball to Okawa for a wide-open shot to score the game-winning goal. However, Asagi manages to run back just in time to block Okawa's shot and take possession of the ball. Asagi completes a long pass to Kamigami, who passes the ball to Bachira, and then passing it to Asagi to score and give Team Z the win by the final score of 2-1. Afterwards, the team celebrates their win with a potluck. That night, Hyoma Chidori tells Asagi that he tore his ACL a year ago and that he is afraid that he might tear it again, that would end his playing career, and Asagi lets Chidori know that he needs to be prepared to give up everything in order to make it in the sport. The next day, Ego releases new rankings and Asagi is now Team Z's top player, while explaining that each player has a different talent that they need to figure out how to utilize. The current standings are revealed with Team V on top, having won both of their matches, while the other 4 teams have 1 win each. Team Z enters their match against Team W with a great sense of urgency, knowing that their final match is against Team V, who has dominated the block. Team Z takes a 3-0 lead into halftime over Team W with a hat-trick scored by Wataru Koan. However, that lead is quickly erased at the start of the second half. With Asagi noticing that Team W is in perfect position to counter Team Z's strategy, as well as Koan intentionally making mistakes that allowed the Wanima twins to score easy goals for Team W, Asagi correctly deduces that Koan is betraying the team. Koan explains that he made a deal with the Wanima twins to allow Team W to win in exchange for allowing Koan to advance for being Team Z's leading goal scorer, and as such they allowed Koan to score 3 goals in the first half, and then Koan would give away Team Z's strategy. Now aware that the match is 10 against 12, that Asagi scrambles to figure out a new strategy. Down 4-3 with Koan leaking Team Z's strategy to Team W, Chidori recalls his soccer career as he was called the genius and played for the same high school as the Wanima twins. He was a star player known for his speed, but tore his ACL that put his career on hold, and has been holding back, fearing that he might re-injure his knee that would end his career. Needing a new strategy that can't be countered by Koan, Team Z places their hopes on Chidori since Koan does not know about Chidori's injury. With the match entering stoppage time, Asagi passes the ball to the other side of the pitch. Using his speed, having heeded Asagi's advice about being prepared to lose everything, Chidori takes the ball and scores the equalizer in the final minute to end the match in a 4-4 draw. After the match, Koan is beaten up by Team W for not telling them about Chidori. Sometime later, Koan attempts to negotiate a similar deal with Zantetsu Tsurugi, Seishiro Nagi, and Ryo Mikage of Team V, but they are uninterested. Overhearing the conversation and bothered by their view of the game, Asagi confronts Team V to criticize them about their commitment to soccer. Ryo explains that he got interested in soccer when watching the World Cup, but with his father wanting him to succeed him as the CEO of his family's company, that he did not approve of his soccer dream. One day, Ryo encountered Nagi and they have since become teammates. As Team Z prepares for their final match against Team V, which they must win to advance, Ego explains to Team Z that the goals they scored are not reproducible and that reproducibility is a critical skill for a striker. With that message, Asagi asks Baru for advice on reproducibility, and after seeing him score twice on him in practice, he figures out his mechanics that leads him to mastering the art of reproducing goals. The next day, Team Z has their match with Team V, having come up with a strategy that does not involve Koan, and the plan initially works. However, the shot misses. Off the missed shot, Ryo completes a long and risky no-look pass to Nagi on the opposite side of the pitch, and Nagi scores the first goal of the match for Team V. Team V goes up 3-0 after Nagi scores another goal using the same pass, and Zantetsu uses his speed while taking advantage of Team Z's attention on Nagi to score from long range. Realizing that their tactics are not working, Bachira awakens his monstrous self in the thrill of battle to send a message to Team Z to awaken their hidden potential to become super special. Bachira dribbles past Ryo, fakes Zantetsu out, and lobs the ball over Team V's goalkeeper to cut Team V's lead to 3-1, prompting Team Z to follow Bachira's lead to evolve and awaken their hidden abilities. Kunigami scores with a mid-range shot that fools the goalkeeper due to the lack of spin to make the score 3-2 going into halftime. The second half begins with Kagamaru's shot blocked by Zantetsu, with Asagi taking the rebound, but his hesitation allows Nagi to take the ball away. Reichi psyches Ryo out, leading Ryo to a yellow card for elbowing Reichi. Chidori takes the free kick, and taking advantage of his superior top speed despite Zantetsu's superior acceleration, he passes the ball to a distant spot on the pitch where only he can get to the ball and ties the score at 3-3 with 30 minutes left in the match. Faced with the prospect of defeat after dominating all previous matches, Team V responds to Team Z's awakening by evolving their game. Team V takes the lead with a goal by Nagi kicked from an impossibly tight angle. With that goal, Nagi suddenly finds soccer fun after viewing the game as boring. In response, Chidori makes another long pass to himself with assistance from Asagi, who blocks out Nagi from getting to the ball and shoots at the goal that is saved. Kagamaru gets the rebound and makes a shot that is blocked by Ryo, and on the rebound Kunigami shoots and scores to tie the score at 4-4. In seeing the way his teammates are playing, Kwon recalls that he used to be enthusiastic about soccer, but his overbearing demeanor alienated his teammates. With the match entering stoppage time, Nagi breaks away for an easy goal, but Kwon tackles Nagi that gets him a red card. On the ensuing free kick outside the penalty box, Nagi's shot is blocked by Kagamaru just before it enters the net. Isagi gets the ball on the rebound as he leads the charge to make one last attempt to score the match-winning goal that gets Team Z into the next round. Isagi leads Team Z down the pitch, and using his foresight, he finds a spot to the left of Chidori and Kunigami in front of the net, correctly anticipating that Team V would send their defenders to mark them. However, he failed to notice Nagi marking him. After going through his thought process, Isagi decides to risk it all with a direct shot and scores the match-winning goal. With the first selection completed, everybody on Team V and Team Z advances for finishing first and second, while Junichi Wanima, Nico, and Baru advance for being the leading scorers on the eliminated teams. In preparation for the second selection, Igo has the remaining strikers undergo physical conditioning. Sometime later, the remaining strikers gather, and Igo reveals that all buildings at Blue Lock were actually labeled as Building 5 to get everybody to experience inferiority. He then explains that the first selection was about understanding what being a striker is about, and the second selection will be a series of individual challenges in 5 stages in which only teams of 5 strikers will make it through to the end. In the first stage, Isagi enters a small soccer ground where he sees a holographic Blue Lock man appear with a holographic gate and goal zone. Given 90 minutes to score 100 goals, Isagi clears the round and improves his shooting. When he enters the second stage, he sees Nagi and Ryo among other players. A message appears, telling them to form a team of 3 to proceed to the next stage. Moments later, Bachira appears and immediately forms his team with Isagi. Initially planning to take Kunigami or Chidori as their third member, Nagi offers Isagi to join his team. He declines, as he has already made his team with Bachira. Nagi opts to join them, leaving Ryo. Moving to the third stage, they find a team consisting of Rin Itachi, Jie Ariyu, and Aoshi Tokumitsu, the highest-ranked players. Igo explains they are free to choose their opponents. The team who scores 5 goals first will win. The winning team can choose any member from the losing team. Isagi and his team decide to play against Rin's team.